there was an Alaska 737 operating in the storm that had a wing strike at the, they call it the Santa Ana. Is that what they call it? SNA?
I think.
John Wayne County?
I think the gear partially collapsed.
Yeah, so let's watch the video. This is from the Twitter. And then we'll get to the thing.
But why is he turning?
Somebody's alarm's going off.
Yeah.
Oh.
What the fuck? There's sparks. There's sparks outside. What the fuck?
That's got to be a gear just collapsed.
Yeah. There's sparks outside.
I like the guy saying breathe, breathe, breathe. That's smart. Breathing is important.
He's not wrong.
No.
Never wrong. But, they stopped. Let me see if I can pull up. This is what it looked like there.
Yep.
So it's flight 1288 from Seattle had to stop on the taxiway, attended by firefighters to escort the passengers safely to the terminal. No injuries have been reported. Boy.
That engine's on the ground, right?
Yeah. Yeah, 100% that gear is collapsed.
Wow.
I think probably it's on touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, having, collapsed the gear on landing, it's a crappy feeling.
Have you ever flown into there, either of you?
No.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know.
So I have, and I'm. It's been so long, so I'm going to preface this with it's been 3 years since I've operated a 737, so my memory could be shoddy. However, I do remember this airport, John Wayne, being a special qual because it's a flaps 40, like it's a short runway. There's not a whole lot of slop on it. It's like LaGuardia, right? We did it on our check rides because short runway, flaps 40, which is all the flaps. It's basically a short field landing in the 737. And they were in some very strong weather conditions because of the tropical storm, depression, subtropical, whatever they're calling Hillary now. And so there's just a lot of factors that will probably be looked at. The 737 is tough to get in on a good day. I can't imagine in the weather like this, whether, some kind of weather event, microburst wind shear, or just a hard landing, because of the conditions. I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens.
Totally guessing based off what you just said, right? If you have to do a flaps 40, it's a short runway. But if the weather's that bad, you've probably dialed up the speed because with the flaps 40, you're going to come in fairly slow, but you're dialing up the speed. But it means like, hey, you got to get this thing down. We got to plop it down. So maybe that contributed, like there was some sort of failure with the gear and then they hit, kind of hard because sometimes that's what you got to do, like a carrier landing. And then, maybe that just popped it loose. So, yeah, I've had to land like that a few times too at different small airports where you're just like, I'm planting this bad boy and we're putting it down. So maybe there was some sort of material failure, not just exacerbated it, I'm guessing.
There are some airports in the system that are always tough, firm landings for that very reason. LaGuardia being one of them, because you don't want to end up, off in the water. And here, because I think there's a highway, right? Didn't Southwest, didn't that happen a while back?
Midway, I think, right?
Like
Southwest.
Midway.
Is that Midway?
Is no joke landing. Yeah.
But this one here too, there's stuff at the end where you just you go off and there's nothing to stop you. I mean, it's bad news.
Yeah, you're in the highway. That Southwest one on Midway, it went crashed right through like the wall and hit a car, and I think it killed somebody.
Yeah, it did.
So I will say my landing story. So those are known. I was going into West Palm one time on a brand new 737. And I had a great landing in Fort Worth, and the captain's like, "Hey man, you want to take this leg too? You 2 for 2 today?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, this is gonna be awesome." And I just slammed the thing in, just the bottom fell out. And this lady's, trundling up the aisle, and she's like, "Oh my God, I thought we were in LaGuardia." So obviously she knew. So anyway, that's
Well, my instructor on my last flight in OE, I think it was my last flight before he let me go off into the world. He categorized my landing as a carrier landing because I was like, I don't even think I flared. I think it was just like just slam it down.
I'll
they
tell
can
you,
take a
man.
beating.
Nothing wrong with carrier landings. Come on.
Well, when you're not on a carrier,
you're not meant to. Yeah, exactly. Only on carriers.
It's
but my point is
hard,
they can take a beating though.
But it's a tough airplane to land well. Like
Right.
it takes a lot of finesse. I've heard that an Airbus will make an average pilot or a good pilot average and a bad pilot average, and the 737 is the exact opposite. Heroes and zeros sometimes with landing that thing.